Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about how we can build uh, an example, real life example. Um, and this one is creating Odoo activity reminders with robot framework and of course Robocorp. Okay, so in this video, we can probably learn three things. First is how you can build an RPA robot for a real life use case. The second is for RPA framework and Robocorp, how you can use vaults, and how can we build an RPA robot using full Python. And lastly, we are going to utilize ERPPeek, the Python library for Odoo for integration. Okay, so a little bit of a background. So in an ERP system like Odoo, the data integrity and setup needs to be validated by an assigned personnel who is trained by the implementation partner. Okay. Misconfigured products will cause potential problems later on, especially if you're doing inventory counts if it's misconfigured. Um, for it to be a little bit more visual, so we have our test instance here. And just an example. So if I go to products, um, currently you'll see uh, that, that there's about 24 products, but usually um, in my experience, there's about 1,000 or 2,000 minimum products in an ERP system, and it's hard to keep track as to which products has been properly validated and properly configured. Like in Odoo, if this part is misconfigured, if you set it to, let's say, the product type is of type service, then that means the system will not be tracking any inventory for that item. Um, if it's in, if it's set to consumable, then it's the system will just think that it's always available. So that's where the problem is. Someone needs to actually go into each of them and make sure that they're properly configured. So, what are the challenges? First of all, this is a very time-consuming task. So, if you imagine if you have like thousands, if you have 10,000 SKUs, there's a lot of people. Someone from purchasing is creating products, someone from sales is creating products and services. So it's a little bit difficult to track for one individual to make sure that all the products are properly configured. And of course, there is no accountability. This happens a lot. There's no accountability when it comes to misconfigured products. The staff would end up pointing fingers as to who created this, and if this product is not properly configured, then who should be accountable to configure it? Okay, so the business case for this is the employee who vets the products usually spends about 2 to 4 hours daily just on this task, on data maintenance, instead of what the company hired him to do. Usually, this is someone from the warehouse, someone from inventory um, who has the necessary training to properly configure the items. And just computing for the cost of data maintenance in the system. So we'll say that 40% of the time spent of this employee is spent on just product configuration. So if this employee is making $3,600 every month, so that's about 1,440 euros monthly, or $17,000 annually that the company is paying for data maintenance. So when we implemented this with one of our clients, after the RPA implementation, the cost of human capital was lowered down to 3% of which is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes a day um, of, of, of configuration. So you'll actually see that the company is saving $15,000, almost $16,000 just because of one RPA bot. Okay, so for the solution, we are going to rebuild the solution. So you're going to see me build it again from scratch. And here we go. Okay, so the solution is first of all, the products must be audited when it's entered into the system. Okay, all existing products and new products should be audited by a person assigned. Okay. We will also drop off any Excel files that this person is using um, to manually track the products in the system. Okay, so what we're going to use? So we're going to use Odoo. We're going to use the Robocorp control panel, and of course, robot framework. We're going to use ERPPeek, which is a Python library, which makes it easy for us to connect to Odoo. And of course, just a few brain cells that we need to properly execute this. Okay, so basically what we want to do if we're looking at Odoo is we want to schedule activities to a specific person um, to, to review the product configuration like this. We'll set the due date to today and whoever the person assigned this. Okay. So we will want to automate this for new products and existing products that has not been automated. We want to build a robot that will automatically create this configuration. Okay. So what we're going to do is so I have Visual Studio already configured and I have already installed the necessary plugins to create an RPA solution. So we are going to create a new RPA solution. Okay. And we will choose the basic Python template for this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is rename this function and make it, let's name it audit products. Okay. And what I want to do usually is to create a comment for the steps that I need to do to accomplish this particular task. Okay. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we'll get the credentials from the vault. The second one is we will log in using Odoo. We will get a list of unaudited items and we will create create activities for the unaudited items. Okay. Okay, so a little bit of preparation. First of all, we will need to take note of the user, the Odoo user, who will handle the validation. So I'm going to open up a notepad for this. Okay. And we will go back to Odoo, and we will need to get the ID of the user that we're going to assign the activities to. So this time it's Mitchell admin, and this is where I get the ID. So if you're familiar with Odoo, then yeah, one way of doing it is exporting it into Excel file, but a quick hack is just get the ID from here. So let's just take a note of that. Okay. Okay, and then we are going to add a Boolean field to the product model. So um, with Odoo Enterprise, there's a quick hack to this, and that's what we're going to do today. We'll just open a product, and we'll open Studio, and then I'll just add checkbox here. Name this. The label has been audited. Okay, and I'm going to limit the view to only admin. Okay, and I'll close this. I'll close this. Okay, so we now have this field, and this field is only shown to the administrators, and this is how we will check if a particular product has been audited or not. Okay. And you'll see that later on. Let me just take note of the name of the field. Oops. Okay. And then we are going to set up um, our vault control room in the control room. Yeah. So I'll go to Robocorp and log in to my control room. Okay. So under vault, I will be adding a secret named credentials. Okay. So the username is admin. The password is 123. The database name. Let me just check Odoo for this. Okay, so the database name is almost similar to this. and the URL. Let's name it server. And we'll create this. Okay. So now we're properly set up. We will now continue with our code. Okay. First of all, we will need to get our credentials from the vault. And according to the Robocorp documentation, we can use this function. Okay. So I'll just copy and paste it in our Python file. And then over here, okay, let's just fix that. So we have username, password. Did we set it up right? So we have username, password, database, and server. Okay, we will also need to link this project to the online secrets vault. Okay. So just to test this, um, we will be printing the username. Okay. Let's also print the password. And the server. Okay, and let's try running this. Oop. Okay, so we got an error. We forgot to rename this. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, so as you can see in our console, it printed the username, the password, the database name, and the link. Okay, so now we can proceed. Next is we will log in with Odoo. And before we can do this, we will need to include ERPPeek library in our project. Okay, and the way to do this is we'll open conda.yaml and add the ERPPeek library, just like that, and we should be good. Okay, now that we have this properly configured, then we will create a function, and this function would be Odoo client is equal to our new function, which is Odoo login, and we'll use user name, password, database, and server. Okay. So we will declare a new function, which is Odoo login, with the same parameters. Okay. Okay. Oh, we forgot to import ERPPeek. Okay. So for the login code, we are going to use this. So enclosed in a try catch function, we will connect using this. Okay. Password, the database, and the server. And we can run it now. If it doesn't raise an error, then we should be good. Okay, so as you can see, it raised an error. It says invalid username or password, and the reason for that is we forgot to set the password for our Odoo user. So let me change that. The password is 123. Okay. Okay, great. So let's try running that again. Okay, so we're good. So we can proceed with our second step. Is we're going to get a list of all the unaudited items. Okay, so we will use this function, and we just need to change this to the field name that we have created. Okay, pardon my different cases that we're using. Um, it it came from this came from another project, but this will do. So what this function does is it searches Odoo the model product dot template where the the field has been audited. This is the field that we created before is false or it is unchecked, and it will return an array of products that has not been audited. So what we just need to do is to call this function here. So unaudited products is equal to get the list of all the functions. Okay. And our next step is we are going to create a for loop for the unaudited products. So for that for loop, we will do for product in unaudited products. We will then create the activities for this unaudited items. Okay. So first of all, let's define the function that we're going to call, and this is my template code for that. Create activity for uh, the POC to review the product. So it takes on three parameters: the client, the product ID, and the user ID. Okay. So we'll declare property, so activity record. So these are all Odoo parameters if you're not familiar with it. For means a to-do activity. So the resource ID is this product ID. The model ID, resource model ID is for this. So if you want to see how we got it, it's a little bit, we'll go deeper into Odoo, but the way to do it is we'll go to technical and we'll go to models. Okay. We'll search for product that template. Okay, and the ID is 354. Okay. Okay, so it says the date time is not declared, so we will fix that. Okay, and the user ID, and this is going to be our comment. Okay. So what's left for us to do is to call this. So the client part is this. Okay, Odoo client. The product ID is basically this, the product, and the user ID is the one that we got earlier, which is number 2. And I think we're about ready to run this bot. Okay, so again, what we're expecting to do is the bot will create activities for each product, like so. Okay, using the template that we've created here. So it should say, please review this product and then it will attach a video documentation of how to properly configure those specific items. Okay, and we will also need to review the rest of the code before we run it. Okay, so this part creates the activity record. This one updates so we need to change that. The Boolean field that we've created, it updates to true, and the bot will update Odoo with this product ID and the product record. Okay, so now we're ready to test it, and we'll run the code. Okay, did not get any errors. And just by quickly looking at it, it looks like it worked. It assigned activities for me for today. Okay, so looks like there's 30 activities were created for me. Okay, and as a user, I will be forced to actually review this and write feedback. As it will be noted on this log that an activity was created for me and that I need to finish it. Okay, and I will be accountable should this be misconfigured. Okay.
About your host. Reynaldo Duque, or Rain to his friends, is a certified robot framework expert and an official Robocorp partner. Aside from this, he is also a certified Odoo techno-functional expert and an official Odoo partner. He has over 17 plus years of software and automation experience under his belt. If you are interested in his services, kindly reach out to him with the information on your screen.